Lions, guys, have been their injuries. One of the biggest stories for the last 5-6 weeks is injuries, injuries, injuries. And the question keeps arising week after week after week. Can the Lions overcome their injury woes? 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 It's a broken record week after week after week. And they keep on doing it, right? They keep on doing it. The Lions' injuries continue to struggle and continue to add up. The Lions have faced numerous injuries, especially on defense, including Hutchinson, Kamonsky, Marcus Davenport, Derek Barnes, Malcolm Rodriguez, and other players just keep adding up. Alex Carlton-Davis, which is back this week. John Pascal, Levi. They just keep adding up and adding up and like adding up. But the one thing that has not shaken the Detroit Lions yet this season is their coaching resilience. They have had very resilient coaches all season long. Aaron Glenn has done a great job. Despite all these injuries, head coach Dan Campbell and defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn and even Ben Johnson have kept the team competitive, overcoming the challenges and earning the attention for future coaching opportunities. The strength of the Detroit Lions have been the offense. The Lions' offense has been led by a powerful running game and effective play action, which all remains intact despite the injuries, including to their tackle, Taylor Decker, which I believe he is due back this week as well. They're also leading the NFC North. The NFC North is one of the most competitive divisions in football, the toughest division in football, with the Green Bay Packers and Minnesota are still strong contenders, still could get that first overall seed, could still win the division. A single misstep could cause the Lions to lose their lead, including their chances at the number 1 seed. The leadership of Dan Campbell and his coaching style suggests he is unlike any other coach, and the team is unlikely to falter moving forward. When you look at the analytics, when you look at the metrics in favor of the Detroit Lions ranked number 7 in DVOA since 1979, with a 43.2% total DVOA, which is significantly higher than the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings. The Lions right now have a 79% chance to win the NFC North heading into Week 14. The key players are what has been keeping the Detroit Lions afloat. The key players on offense have been keeping them afloat. And the Detroit Lions can overcome those injuries yet again as long as Jared Goff stays healthy, as long as Penny Sewell stays healthy, as Amon-Ra St. Brown keeps performing at a high level. The Detroit Lions are in a very, very good shape. So when we look at the Detroit Lions and we look at their injury struggles, guys, can the Detroit Lions continue to overcome their injury woes? Can they continue to perform since players keep going down and down and down again? And I have, back in week 6, right? I had very little faith that if they did not replace Aiden Hutchinson with an edge rusher, that they would not be a Super Bowl caliber team. Every time I'm on this Detroit Lions show, they keep saying, "Oh, did you say that?" Yes, I did say that. What did they do, though? They added an edge rusher. And that is what the Detroit Lions have been doing the last 3, 4, 5 weeks, is they keep adding players. Adding this player, adding that player. I mean, like a lot of players that we don't know of, right? A lot of players that were on the practice squad or other teams' practice squads, like, hey, come on over. The linebacker, I don't know his name, but Alex, he went down. The next week, bada bing, bada boom, this practice squad player that I knew nothing about comes up and shines out, balls out per se. And people are like, okay, I think his number was 34, right? They're like, okay, you can stay. Now they just added Jamal Adams. Jamal Adams will be playing that linebacker hybrid safety mix, kind of like a Tony Polamalu back in the day. How is he going to adjust? He's probably going to be just fine. The scheme that the Detroit Lions have right now is literally a plug and play on defense and offense, it seems like. We've seen it in San Francisco. We've seen it in Kansas City. We've seen it with other teams, right? They do this plug and play concept, and it is beautiful. It is a beautiful, beautiful thing when it works. And right now, the Detroit Lions defense is plug and play. Hey, you don't got to be a superstar. Hey, you don't got to be a stud. Hell, you don't even got to have a big-ass name. As long as your name's got 6 letters in it, bada bing, bada boom, you are on the defense. You're making tackles. You're making plays. So can the Detroit Lions guys keep overcoming their injuries moving forward? And I think they can. As long as their offense stays intact, as long as Jared Goff doesn't go down, as long as Penei Sewell doesn't go down, as long as Amon-Ra doesn't go down, they're going to be okay. They're going to be okay. What do you guys think? Are they going to be okay moving forward? And John says, never doubt Dan Campbell, period. Never doubt the man. And John, I am starting to lean that way. I am starting to lean that way to never doubt the man, right? Last season, we kind of counted him out. Let's just be honest. The fumble or the fumbled play calling versus the Dallas Cowboys back in week 6, whatever it was. And then the fumbled play calling in the NFC Championship game. Like, this guy, yeah, he's a good coach. He's a good rah-rah guy, but he kind of lacks that upstairs knowledge, right? He kind of lacks that fundamental situational play, right? And then, hell, even this season, back in week 10, I believe it was 4th and 3 on their own 30-yard line, first drive of the game, and they go for it on 4th and 1. I'm like, what are you doing? This is why you're going to lose game. They ultimately got stopped. Ultimately came back and won that game. I'm just like, wait, what are you doing? But now, on the outside looking in, rewatching those games, I'm like, okay. And I'm starting to think Dan Campbell is up there with Mike Tomlin, Matt LaFleur, Andy Reid, Kyle Shanahan. He is up there with those top coaches. I mean, he needs to, I guess, maybe win a Super Bowl to really be up there, but I would put him neck and neck with Matt LaFleur. I think Matt LaFleur has a little bit of advantage, but with like Mike T and Andy and Kyle Shanahan, like you got to put him up there. And you're right. Never doubt the man. I've learned not to second guess coaching so far this season. Mike Tomlin, second guess him. What happens? 5-game winning streak. Second guess Dan Campbell on the 4th and 2. What happens? They come back and win the game. So it is what it is. Laura says the NFC North is wild right now. Anything can happen at this very moment. I had a feeling that the number 1 seed will shock us all this season. If the Lions lose this on Thursday, it will definitely shake it up, right? Definitely shake it up. John says the key players in the upper management change allowed to Lions to make big moves and their success. Nacho Gomez says, too bad Dan Campbell can't play defense. He was a tight end, but he was a bad man. Jonas Howard says they, as in Detroit, are going to be all right after this game. They will right the ship. Detroit defense is the number 1 in NFC points allowed at 203, and the Green Bay Packers is 4th in the NFC, allowed at 240 points allowed. Okay. I did not know that. I know the Detroit Lions defense is ranked like 19th overall, but I didn't know they were the lowest point differential. Of course, it helps when you jump out to a big-ass lead. It helps when the other teams just have to pass and try to catch up. That definitely helps. And Laura says he's definitely on his way up there. He deserves the respect, as in Coach Dan Campbell. Very, very true. Very, very true. But let's continue to talk.